We're just at the end of Storm Amy here on the southeast coast of England. I'm in Folkestone. It's the end of the summer season, and I thought it'd be a good idea to come out and do some documentary photography showing how a seaside town in England goes from being vibrant, busy, and lots of colour, lots of activity and energy in the summer, to being boarded up and desolate. And I think there's a really interesting contrast there. So this really is part of my small towns documentary project that I'm doing in Canada and in the UK. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I thought I'd spend a few hours out today, but the problem is this wind is so extreme I can't really record. I had to find some shelter to record this, but I'm on the Folkestone Harbour Arm right now, and the minute I walk out of this little sheltered area, I stand a good chance of getting blown into the sea, actually. I took a photo here earlier in the year, which I really like. It's slightly different now because, well, the lighting is different, and these beer barrels are actually on the countertop there. So, but there is a shot, if I come around here, that's sort of interesting. It looks like the fish is gonna have a drink. I kind of like that. I don't know why, I just like it. I'm gonna shoot that. Actually, this bit of the harbour arm is relatively sheltered, so you might be able to hear the audio. We're in shade here. It's going to be pretty flat. I'm shooting with my 28mm fixed lens on my Leica Q2 Monochrome, so it's a black and white day. There's not a lot of contrast, not a lot of tonal range here, but I'm going to shoot it anyway. I'm using a red filter on a beautiful sunny day like this with blue skies. I always have a red filter, and it's actually taking out the yellow, so I've got a little bit of contrast. There's the contrast between the grey and the yellow, which is coming out as white, and the white fish, so it's not too bad. So this is going to be an example of poor black and white photography. Because we've had a high tide about an hour ago, so I don't think I'm going to get down here to see the Gormley statue. No, that's a pity. Actually, I might better sneak a photo. I've not actually looked at this when the tide is up like this. In the past, the tide has been low, and I've been able to stand down there and get a nice wide shot, but I think I prefer this. This is one of those views that everybody that comes to Folkestone has to photograph, and I'm always going on about how I dislike doing this kind of photography, shooting the same as everybody else, although I still do it. But what I like about today is most people don't shoot it when the tide's high like this, and we've got some relatively low light. It's about 10:30, and the light's still low enough that we're getting some nice highlights on these rusty beams. So I'm going to try and find a composition where the statue is in frame, but I'm really looking at these details more than the statue, because that's actually far more interesting. So I'm going to show you the classic shot that everybody takes, and I've taken a few dozen times myself probably, and this new shot, which I think is way more interesting. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. So we're coming to the end of the harbour arm where the lighthouse is, and there's actually a champagne bar in here, which is pretty cool, but it's closed for the season, so no champagne for me this morning. which is very sad because I like a nice champagne every morning when I'm out doing photography. I think this is going to make a nice black and white photo. I like the way half of it's in shadow, half of it's in sunlight, so that I'm going to shoot down where that line is, where the shadow ends and the sun begins, and go for sort of a symmetrical type shot there. So we're going to get low here because that way I can get this bench in the foreground and it acts as a nice leading line, and the sunlight just catches the edge of it, which is really quite nice. And then we've got to the right hand side there, we've got the railings up there which also lead towards the lighthouse. So that's quite a pleasant little shot. Well, I can't get up to the top part. They've actually locked the gate because it is so windy, and it would be pretty stupid to go up there in this wind even if it was open. So we're going to make our way back to where some of these little units, little metal shipping containers that have been converted to stores and cafes are, and see, I think probably they're all closed down, but there might be some nice shots there because it's very geometrical, lots of blocks and lines in those containers. And then we'll make our way back to the harbour. It seems the storm has returned. I really like this old platform. Beautiful architecture, Victorian architecture, and I just love the light and shade, very geometrical. Everything's about shapes, geometry in my compositions at the moment. And I actually made a video about what inspired me to shoot urban photography with so much geometry and balance of shapes. I'm going to put that video at the end of this one because I think it's probably the most interesting video I've made in a long time. So give it a little watch once you've finished this one. Well, this has got nothing to do with the project that I started out doing this morning, but it's cool. Just the shapes of these archways, the contrast. I'm just looking for really simple, interesting compositions here, and there are plenty of them. Towards the end, I switched to my film camera, shooting black and white and a 50mm lens, but you won't see any of those photos in this video because I've got lots of frames left and I'm not going to be getting this developed anytime soon. Anyway, what a great day. Here are my favorite images from the day. I'll continue this project when we get deeper into winter. I think that's when it's going to be at its best for my intention. So here are my favorite images from the day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.